Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we untangle those massive corporate filings so you don't have to. Today we're diving into a proxy statement, which might sound boring, but trust me, there's always a story hidden in the details, especially when we get to executive pay. This time we're looking at Journey Medical Corporation, a company focused on dermatology products. What's interesting here is not necessarily the products themselves, but what the company is planning with its leadership and how they're trying to protect themselves from potential legal issues. We are looking at the proxy statement for their annual meeting, Troy statement pursuant to Section 14 SETA, the Section 14-M of the Actuaries Exchange Act of 1934 scroll. This document is basically Journey Medical's way of asking its stockholders to vote on some important decisions at the upcoming annual meeting. Think of it as a ballot and information guide all rolled into one. First up, stockholders need to elect 6 directors to the board for the next year. These are the people who oversee the company's strategy and performance. It's a routine process, but the composition of the board can signal shifts in the company's direction. Next, there's a vote to ratify KPMG LL independent auditor for the year. This is essentially asking the stockholders to approve the company's choice of accountants. It's usually a formality, but it's still an important check and balance. Here's where things get interesting. They're asking stockholders to approve an amendment to their corporate charter that would protect company officers from certain types of lawsuits. This is called officer exculpation, and it's a hot topic in corporate law right now. Basically, it means that officers can't be held personally liable for certain decisions they make on the job. The annual meeting is going to be virtual this year. The company decided on the virtual format to encourage attendance and participation and to reduce cost. If you're a stockholder of record, you will need your 16-digit control number to log in. The board recommends voting for the director nominees for ratifying KPMG as their accountant and for approving the change in the corporate charter that would protect the officers from liability. It is always worth checking how independent a company's board is. NASDAQ rules require that the board makes an affirmative determination as to the independence of each director. The company determined that Neil Herskowitz, Michael Pierce, Justin Smith, and Miranda Toledano are independent. As a controlled company, they are not required to have a fully independent board. The audit committee has important responsibilities, including evaluating the performance of the independent auditors, reviewing the financial statements, and monitoring compliance with legal and regulatory responsibilities. The audit committee is made up of Neil Herskowitz, Justin Smith, and Miranda Toledano. The compensation committee is responsible for reviewing and approving the compensation of the CEO and other executives. This is an important role as it helps to ensure that executives are paid fairly and that their incentives are aligned with the interests of stockholders. The compensation committee consists of Justin Smith, Michael Pierce, and Neil Herskowitz. Let's get to some numbers. The company paid KPMG $949,000 for audit fees for fiscal year 2024. This is more than the $893,000 other things were zero in both 2024 and 2023. The fees they paid for tax and other things were zero in both 2024 and 2023. Now let's take a quick look at executive compensation. In 2024, the CEO Claude Morogen are per stock awards of $1,660,500 plus stock awards of $1,622,256, T70 $500 plus stock awards of $1,070.23, but the CFO's stock awards was zero in 2024 than it was in 2020, $7,684 for a total of $2,597,600 and non-equity compensation of $309,000. Stock awards of $720 for a total of $2,597,600 and non-equity compensation of $309,000. Stock awards of $7041,000. Stock awards of $7041,000. Stock awards of $741,600 and non-equity compensation of $175,680.24. The employment agreement with Claude Morogen states that he can earn an annual bonus linked to certain milestones. For 2024, he earned 93% of his target bonus based on hitting milestones related to financials, investor relations, business development, and clinical development. The agreement provides for severance payments in certain circumstances, for example, termination without cause. The CEO has options to purchase 1,250,000 shares. They expire in 2025, which might influence his behavior as the deadline approaches. Non-employee directors receive $50,000 per year plus stock awards worth $50,000. The chair of the audit committee gets an additional $10,000. It is important for directors and officers to report their stock ownership in a timely manner. It was reported here that there were some delinquent filings by Claude Marawi and Joseph Benesh due to administrative oversight. Fortress Biotech owns a large portion of Journey Medical. It's disclosed that Journey Medical reimburses Fortress for the salary and benefits of certain employees that work on Journey Medical projects. Scroll forth Katha Tennessee, amended and restated. Arcanode Certificate Operation Scroll. The company wants to change its charter to include the changes in Delaware law that allow corporations to limit the personal liability of certain of their officers. Basically, what's happening here is Journey Medical is following a trend in corporate governance. They're seeking to protect their officers from certain lawsuits, arguing that it's necessary to attract and retain good talent. So what's the overall picture here? Journey Medical is running the usual corporate playbook. They're making sure their leadership is in place and they're taking steps to shield themselves from potential legal risks. The increased audit fees could suggest greater complexity in their financials or simply increased scrutiny, and the generous executive compensation packages are designed to keep everyone motivated, though they might raise some eyebrows among stockholders. There are a few things that stand out. The first is the amount of the CEO's stock awards in 2024, much more than 2023. This highlights how important incentives are to the CEO's compensation. Secondly, we note that it was necessary to report that the foundings of stock ownership by the CEO and CFO were late, which doesn't look great. Finally, the move to protect officers from liability is a common one, but it's worth considering whether it's truly in the best interest of stockholders or if it simply protects management from accountability. In conclusion, Journey Medical seems to be navigating the complexities of the market as they solidify their positions in the market. Whether those moves will pay off remains to be seen, and it's something we'll be keeping an eye on. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, like and comment.